Good morning, good afternoon, good night to wherever you are in this world. Welcome to the show. It's Fresh Air. How's you doing? Today, I want to talk about a few things about feeling validated within yourself, and also a couple things I've learned from a new mentor of mine. Very good actress, all that. Great insight, Gen Z type, but had broken the curse. Some of the things that she resonated on that I want to talk about, because I'm going to give credit, because credit is due where it's due. When you validate yourself, we always look for that external validation from somebody else. We always think and feel we should be a certain way as long as other people will accept us. So the things we do in our daily activities, a lot of times you don't understand that you're doing it naturally because you've been programmed that way to ask a friend first, hey, should I do this? And if they say no, there goes another chance to do something great. The greatest things you can do is learn to heal your wounds within yourself, the way you validate yourself, how you understand and how you like to think of things. When people talk about you, how does it make you feel? It's invalid because it's not you, it's from their viewpoint. So what happens is you understand that you're triggered by somebody else's comment. When we practice try to be like everybody else, that's not going to work. You can't practice to be about everybody's going to like you. That's just impossible. That's just a fact of life. A lot of things in the world happens because we are on a different program right now. A lot of people are programmed to like a certain thing because everybody else is liking it. Or people are not liking something because everybody else is not liking it. And there's no originality in that if your decisions are triggered by somebody else or the collective. So what does this look like? When you look within yourself, you start looking at what you value in your life. What's important to you? And you start realizing that a lot of stuff that's important to you is your life, your stuff, your passions, the things that make you creative, the things that make you speak up, the things that make you feel like you could have a voice. It's natural in our instincts to feel validated by something, by somebody or a community. That's natural. But when you don't get that, it's a point where you got to go, okay. So you take time to understand that what's important to you. Write down a list of things that you validate or value in your life. And write down a list of what you think community doesn't value. And you're going to see things that align in your life. Things that are important probably aren't as important as once you put it on paper and you start looking at it and you start realizing, okay, what's important to me? And how can I improve the importance of some of the things that you validate? A lot of times we do things based on opinion by others. Our drive and our power of our motivation is affected by how other people perceive it. Wow, we just got a lot going on right now. Jesus. So as you wake up to this understanding of things and start putting it into paper and putting it into what you validate. Now, we're not looking for that external as much as we put it onto social media, because what happens is you'll be discouraged real fast. Because you have to understand that social media is based on fear-mongering. They won't do things unless somebody else will like. So people that have that place of power or influence will not do certain things because they believe their community, whoever's following them, won't like what they're doing. And so they're invalid. And so what happens is that they're invalid because they're not actually doing what they're doing. They're actually being a chameleon because they're only doing things because everybody else will like it. That makes you invalid. because you're not doing you and your sole purpose. If you were an influencer, you would understand this stuff. But if you're an influencer and you're just, look at me now, look at me do this, look at me do that, you're only doing it because you want people to like you. So you're stopping yourself from actually being an influencer, but you're being followed by bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're just more of the same problem. Because are you really working on yourself? Or being that influencer to help people? You know what I'm saying? A true influencer is going to go against the grain sometimes on the things that are troubling our communities, our youth and all that. A lot of things that they challenge their thinking and say, well, gang, I'm only saying this because I know people are going to like it. That makes you invalid. Do you get what I'm saying? It's kind of a two-headed sword. One's a dull side and one's a sharp side. Do you get what I'm saying? The dull side is the one where you're just complying with the rest of the community because you're not going to do certain things. You're not going to post this because you know people aren't going to like it. So that's why you don't post it. You're scared. You're worried. That's valid. I get that. That's valid right there. That's the valid part. I just want you to understand that's what it comes down to, is recognizing why we do what we do. It's the psychology of intellect, the influence. What influences yourself? You would say, okay, I'm influenced by this. Put that on a paper. Now also, write down a list of things you're not influenced by. Write down your emotions that are tied to that. Write down your thoughts that come to that. Write down your journal every day of what you feel is valid. And if it's valid, just understand that don't get discouraged by the rest of the community because they don't agree, because that's just the way it is. That's just how you gotta understand things these days. A lot of people are, just what do you call it? I'd say collectively, we're influenced by everybody else's opinion, and that's just impossible to do. And so how you motivate yourself is understand that you gotta go search within yourself to find what's valid to you and not what the community is. Take away all those distractions that everybody else is doing and find a new way, a new purpose. You make sense that you understand that putting the time and effort into you and not looking for that external validation all the time in social media, that you find that external validation in yourself and that you see that the things you do every day is changing you personally. And when you start doing that, that's when you start practicing self-confidence and self-motivation and you're gonna get to that point where you start realizing, well, I feel like I'm going against the grain. I can't do this. That's when you start challenging yourself. You're going to start realizing that the things you're doing, you start to realize, oh my gosh, I could be a better influencer. I can actually do things great in this world, right? Yes, you can turn the dial and start realizing that the way you are, you're only doing it because you want other people to like you. It's the niche in the community of social media. I'm not saying everybody that gets likes and followers, no. And I'm not saying everybody's like that, but it seems like a lot of these, these influencers, you really break it down and you kind of look at it like, where do I fit into this equation and how is my opinion going to matter anyways, and how they're doing things. And that's another spin at it. Like, maybe my opinion is different because I don't see it the way they see it. Do you know what I'm saying? And so we have to challenge ourselves and understand things differently. You look outside the box and start realizing that your thoughts and things that have held you back your whole life from being who you want to be truly was influenced by your surroundings, your validation. Your resilience comes from not being affected by somebody saying something bad about you. You're a badass and you say, wow, okay, cool. Because you understand that their opinion is valid because of their understanding of where they're at in their life. But you don't devalidate them because you're now going to that level where you're like, oh, you're trying to devaluate. If you're in a disagreement with somebody and you're talking about this and this, you're trying to prove your points. The thing is understand this. Don't devalidate yourself. Don't mold to understand that, oh, I'm going to not talk about this, because you have to know where your discernment is when it's the right time to pick your fights and pick your battles, to pick your influence, to pick your time to rise, to time to shine, the time to show your clarity, and that you're genuine, and that you're truth. Your authenticity will determine free will. Your authenticity will not be changed by the collective community based on what? Collective community has an understanding that we're only liking and sharing things that we believe other people are going to like. What if the influencers that already have the following start sharing things that are deep within themselves that they believe will help others, but they don't share it because they feel like it's not going to get anywhere, or they'll lose their following? Do you get what I'm saying? That's the kind of picture I'm trying to show you, is understand that sometimes you got to go against the grain, because what we like inside, other people like too, but they don't do it because they're influenced by everybody else's validation. Gotta catch my breath. I'm walking and pacing while I'm talking. A lot was coming out there. A lot of channel energy to understand things on an intellect level. To understand your intuition is not lying to you sometimes. Don't let other influence your influence. If it's on the same if you value the same understandings, that's great. But just understand that you got to start deep healing some of those wounds that kept you from being your best self. Being your best self is the person within you that is genuine, honest, authentic. You feel the understanding of helping others and healing others by your experience, your testimony, your understanding of things. Because the way I state, here's the thing here. Is my video right here invalid? It possibly is. It's probably invalid to some. But is it influenced by that invalidation by other people? Well, I'm not going to like this because somebody else is going to say I'm stupid for liking this. So a lot of people won't hit that like because you know what I'm saying? Whew. So anyways, credit goes to my friend I just started listening to. An actress, a very good actress at that. Very smart for her age too. I thank all of you for listening right now, and I want you guys to understand that I'm going to continue trying to be my best so I can help you to be your genuine self, your authentic self. I'm not saying go out there and be a hellraiser and just say this is the way this is what the world should be doing. This. No. Have your discernment to know when to pick your battles, when to speak up and talk about what you've learned for the day. So then hopefully that the things you talk about or discuss and how you act every day will hopefully start resonating to others. So in order to move in this life, we have to understand there's a bigger picture here. Okay, so we have to understand how social media works. We see the influence, we see where it goes. All right. So I pray that no weapon formed against you will prosper. I pray that you will find everlasting life as long as you believe in a power greater than yourself will carry you through, and that you understand that your importance to be your authentic self is important to move forward in this life. And collectively, we can do that. We start realizing that we can be more understanding of other people's situations, understanding of their thoughts and how they think. And we're not triggered by just somebody's opinion. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Take care.